Hello guys, welcome to Coding Lab, and today we're gonna write a class to inherit from while writing one-time scrapers. Well, the point is that when you write in a scraper, well, especially when it's about one-time scraper, you always need to do lots of routine stuff like process the URLs, make GET requests, and store the result data to CSV, etc. And I don't really want to see you. I don't really want to make you watch me doing absolutely the same thing each video. So, well, of course, if you're a new viewer, it would be interesting. But in case if you watched kind of lots of videos, this would be pretty boring. So, in order to explain things that I'm gonna cover in this video once and forever, I'd like actually to write this class. So the idea is pretty simple. We would be simply okay, let's I forgot what I wanted to say, so basically let's just jump in. And okay, so let's start with traditional importing of the libraries. So the request to make HTTP GET requests, beautiful soup to parse the content as always, and we would also need the time module to make a delay between the requests in order to avoid torturing the website where we would be scraping. So it's generally good practice to have those delays in order to avoid getting banned. Well, and I would add some more if needed, basically. Well, probably would need CSV, but okay. And I want to create the class called scraper. And also I want to create a new file here called quotes.py, and in this and here we would inherit from the scraper class. And what we supposed to do this video, we actually I just want to close my Skype here, Upwork as well. Okay, so the point is that quite often we encounter not only the single page but several pages, and in this case the address contains the address is composed of two parts: the base URL and the page number. So that's one of the main things I'd like actually to handle in this class. And actually, when we will be using this class, we don't really need to import the bunch of stuff each time. So we would be simply saying from ODS, which stands for one-time scraper, import all. And now we can simply, not the class. Oh yes, the class. Now we create a new class called, we'll say, quotes. Quotes scraper, like this, which inherits from scraper. And remember that this scraper is imported from this file. So if I just run this, quotes.py, no such quotes in plural. Okay, yes. Okay, so the class has been imported, and this is really cool. So what we need to do now is actually to create the instance of this class. So I say quotes is equal quotes quote scraper, and this is it probably. Okay, I'll just quickly check this out. I'm not really good in object-oriented programming, which might be a bit of surprise for you guys, but yeah, I'm only at the stage of discovering the concepts of object-oriented programming for myself, so I hope to make everything correctly here. Okay, and the very first variable I'd like to define would be the URLs. So this would be the variable to actually kind of we're gonna walk through to make those HTTP GET requests. And let's define the run function. It would take the self in Python means the object instance itself, so it's quite interesting. For the Python is probably the only language, well, it is the only language I know that passes this instance variable explicitly, so usually it's not even displayed here as an argument, but Python does this explicitly, which is great to my opinion. Okay, and here actually we need to populate this URLs, and also we need to specify, well, I could have used the def init, like the constructor, and pass the arguments of the URL and the number of pages, but I just want to make that in I just want to avoid that because I personally don't really like that format, so I'm not sure I should specify the base URL here, but okay, it's probably here. So let me just think what I'm supposed to do here. Yes, and we need to import, we also need the number of pages. Okay, so for index in range from 1 to page number, but not the page number, but self.page number. So if I just create the page number here, well, probably I will do this, so if user would forget to add this, just nothing happens instead of the error, so well, probably this is just fine. And we would override the values of page number here in the inherited class. Okay, and also page numbers, also I want to have the base URL, which would be equal for nothing at the moment. And I want simply say that for index range of from 1 to self page number, self.urls dot append self base URL plus, we need to convert to string this page number, and self page number. Okay, and now let's actually just try to run this quote scraper, and actually to see what happens. Yeah, okay, at least it works. Well, this is pretty cool. And I would also I can actually print the content of URLs in this manner. So if I say quotes dot URLs, I actually want to print this. So it's empty because we didn't really specify either the base URL or the page number. Well, it's not really about the base URL, but more like the page number, so it's 0. So if I say make it 3, that it would contain a couple of values here. I'm not sure why just 2, 3 is here. Oh, not the page number, but string index. Yeah, not the page number, but index. Okay, now this is good. And what's the cool thing about the inheritance that we don't really need? So we don't really need to care about this mother class. I don't know how to call this, the base class. So we can specify this stuff over here. So let's remember how we call this page numbers. If we just specify the page number is equal to 2, and now I just run this, I have only 1, and that's because the behavior of the range of this loop. So we need self page number plus 1. Okay, now 1 and 2. Okay, and now we also need to specify the base URL. So if I say the base URL, and let's reference this one. So we need everything up to this number. It might be in this format, so without a slash or whatever. So what we really need here, we need actually only to have the base URL, and then we would append the page number. So the base URL is like this, and now let's run again. Okay, so now we have exactly the URLs we need. So quotes.scrape.com page 1 and page 2. Okay, well, in some cases you need to add the slash at the end, but in the case of top scrape quotes, it's not really, it's pretty unnecessary. So well, that might be one of the bugs in the future, but we'll just leave this for now. Okay, so well, it seems like populating the URLs works okay, and what else? And now we actually need to perform the requests themselves. Okay, so now we need to loop over the URLs for URL in URLs. So loop over the URLs, and create the HTML variable that we're creating each time, and say request.get, and here the URL itself. Okay, here the URL itself, and then we want to print get, and then the URL, and then the status code, and here one URL and HTML status code. Well, let's better call this response. It would be just more professional way of doing things. Okay. So response.status code. And also, well, we'll also need to add some delay. Okay. URLs is not defined now, that's because it's the inner variable of the class, so we need to add the self here. Okay, so he gets them correctly, and then prints. Okay, where it prints this? So don't need to print this anymore. And another thing to add here is we really want to make a delay between the requests in order to not torture the site with scraping. That's generally good practice. And by the way, you know, guys, if you want to scrape something, it's really good practice to go to the base root, very like initial URL, the root of the site, and check for the file called robots.txt, and it's not found. Whoa, what a surprise. Okay, well, okay, just let me show you what I mean. So if say we go to Google, like this, so you see what is a load and what is this a load, and this usually this file has a very important information regarding the policy, the scraping policies and the use policies, so whether you can scrape the site or not. And these ethical points are really important when you're doing web scraping. So, well, it might be even end up a disaster if you hack something that you don't really have to like hack. So keep track of robots.txt file every time when you're doing web scraping, so to avoid some complications and problems in your life. Okay, so what we need here, we need time.sleep, and let's sleep for 2 seconds. Well, basically this value can be varied and can be actually made as a setting. Maybe later on I will do that, but just for now let's just keep this for 2 seconds. Well, maybe let's make it 5 seconds to make sure everything is just fine. So, and I just run this quotes, and now he waits for 5 seconds. Okay, that's too long. And now he makes another request, and this is it. So, well, we don't really need to wait after. Well, okay, this is just fine. Well, let's skip it actually too, a bit faster. Okay. Well, maybe let's even make it a 1 second request. So, well, no, it's a bit too fast. Okay, let's stick to. Okay, and also, so now we have this response object, and now we want to pass this response object to some function that would extract data from the HTML response. And for this purposes, we'll create a function, a method called parse, which would also have the self, and in the class definition it would be just empty. So this parse method would be the main method we would deal with while writing our one-time scrapers. Okay guys, just hold on a sec, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, and now let's actually test this parse method. So we override the parse method in our quote scrapers self and response and parse, and let's just have the response code, status code, again just to make sure that it fires every time the GET request is done. But to actually invoke that, so also parse self response, and here we need to call self parse and response like this. Okay, let's test this out. Okay, so as you see here, so every time it makes the request, it just parses, and you know, like this delay, so he parses after the delay. So we want actually to make that before the delay happens, like this. Okay, this is much better now. And basically, if here instead of status code we use just the text element, as we have done a number of times before, and we just get in the HTML response, which we would be parsing actually. that's it. So that's very simple. So we need to provide the base URL, the page number, and this is it basically. And then just what we really need to parse here. And the requests are done automatically here, so just need to run the scraper. That's it. Okay, and now what? So the last thing here. Well, we also can add a couple of nice things like print the data and store the data as CSV. And we'll probably end up at that point. Well, one day this class can be expand. How is that called? Make it bigger. Expansion, expanded. Well, forget that. And I'm not really, guys, I'm not really that sure about storing the CSVs. So, well, probably. Well, okay, just give me a try. I'll try to make this. Well, the problem is that when we write in the CSV file, it's usually kind of it might be the list of lists and the list of dictionaries, and those are respectively CSV.write rows. If I'm not mistaken, just let me check up my notes here. Yeah, write rows, and CSV.dicWriter, another method to do with the list of dictionaries. So, well, probably if I just create the results, if I just try to create the results list, well, in any case this would be a list, and def export CSV, and we can actually export JSON as well. We can export JSON as well. Well, okay, but let's start with export CSV first. Okay. Yeah, so we need to import the CSV. So here we need with open, and okay, another issue is how to call the output file. Just out.csv. Okay, we can use the file name here, so it would contain the file name. So file name, and we want to write a CSV file. Okay, and now depending on the type of the results, we would like to create a different writers. So let's say if results 0, which references the very first element of the results array, no, if type like this is equal to dictionary. Okay, let's just debug first, print dict, else, no, elif type results 0 is equal to list, print list, and else print and support the results type. And just simply return from from this function. Okay, and so, well, by default it has to probably give an error, I believe. So let's try. So quotes export CSV, and the file name, well, not test CSV. Okay, it just runs. Okay, name results is not defined. Whoa. Okay, that's because, okay, and I just don't really want to run this at the moment. Eventually he did create this test as CSV. Okay, so, well, of course not the results, but self results. What is index out of range? Oh, so we should check if actually, yes, if the length of self results is greater than 0, but we can just avoid writing that, because if this returns 1, this fires up, otherwise it won't. Else print fail to export and the reason for that is no data, no entries. No results to store. Okay, great. And from excuse me. Oh, okay. Okay, so failed to store, no results to store. Okay. So now if I just results, if I just save something here, it's not the list and it's the string actually, not the dictionary. Now it has to give an error and supported type. Okay. And if I just make it list, then it has to return the list. Okay. And if I make it a dictionary, that it's a dictionary, and this is really cool. Okay. And yeah, and now let's actually implement the writers for each time. For each case. So in this case the writer would be equal CSV dict writer. Okay, and also we need the column names. Okay, CSV file and column names. Where are they supposed to get the column names? I call column names as headers. It would be good idea to make this argument optional, but I don't remember by how to do this. I don't want to waste your time watching me googling that. So CSV file and the headers. This is just to make sure field names and this. want to loop over results. So for row results, right row, row, and also we want right columns, right headers like this. Create dictionary writer. Okay, so let's test this out. So let's make it actually A, next make it B, and we will also, so now he would tell me that not enough elements. Doesn't have right headers. Probably it's right header instead. Main results is not defined, of course. Of course it doesn't. Okay. Okay, and now, yeah, so I need actually to specify the A and the B as the field names like this. Okay, now we'll have a look at CSV. A1 and B2, I'm not sure why. Oh, it's probably because we need, hold on a second, line the fix. I'm doing something wrong, definitely. Okay, just hold on a sec. Okay, I got what's wrong here. If I say B is equal to 2, here just wrong keys. That's the reason. A 3. Now it should be just fine, I hope. Yeah. A, B, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay. A, B. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is great. This is great. Okay, and now we also need to test the list of lists. Okay, just create a casual writer. So just create writer and writer CSV writer. It's probably like this, and CSV file here. And what else? What else? And basically probably writer right rows and the self results. Right results. Okay. Okay. Just make it comment out this. So we need the list of lists, and here we would have 1, 2, test.csv. Okay, great. He writes this as well. And if I want to add some headers, well, maybe not really the best ever way of doing this, but still this works. So let's make it like this. Okay, great. So, well, the CSV exporter seems to work just fine. Well, at least I hope so. We need to add some commentaries here as well. Okay. And, well, let's actually implement another little stuff here. So, import JSON. So I also want to be able to store the results as in JSON format. So def export JSON self and file name. File name and write this JSON file, and we simply say JSON file write JSON dumps. Okay, but this has to be okay. Let me just try this. JSON dumps self results in dump is equal to 2. Okay, now it should give an error for it's not a JSON format at all, I believe. Huh, it writes the JSON. Oh, but where's the file? Oh, that's okay. Okay, no, it just doesn't write JSON. Quotes export JSON test JSON. Export JSON. How do I call that? Export JSON. What do you mean it doesn't have? Hold on a sec. What do you mean does it have? Oh, it's a bit wrong indentation. Now it will have. Okay, and so he says AB 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is basically fine as well. So we want the JSON format like this, so we can actually not even handle. Oh, but it doesn't have keys. Is this JSON format might be useful at some point? Well, basically it's just the list of lists, so the bare structure. Well, you know, guys, I think this is just to be left as is. And let me just quickly check if it writes the results with the real JSON input actually. Well, hopefully the JSON dumps works perfectly well. Well, this is just perfect. Okay, this is just perfect. Okay, so probably this is just fine. Okay, and the very last thing I would like to have here is actually I want to be able to print the results to console, and for that I need to import a tabulate. So from tabulate import all, and let's make it here printf print data print table self print tabulate. Okay, and this time again, so if we deal with so first, okay, so first of all, if the results are not empty, so check the results are not empty, make sure results available. Okay, results in dictionary format. Case. So in case of list, it's really easy. So tabulate, just need the self results. I'm not sure about the headers. Okay, let's just explicitly define them. Here's and table format is great. Okay, so okay, let's check this out. So first, let's deal with so we want the quotes, print table. What do you want to headers? Okay. So well, let's have the empty headers for now. Okay, this is good, and that's because yeah, the headers are already kind of over the head, so we don't really properly need to specify them. Or okay, and here's a bit more complicated stuff. So tabulate. So here we need to basically to loop over the results, and we need to extract so for the row values. And this would be the list, so the list of lists, row in self results. Okay, so we don't really need these headers. Okay, just got that. We don't need that headers. And here we need the loop over the keys, so self results. first element and the keys. Hope it works. I really hope it works. Okay, table format fence gradient. Okay, so let's check. Self is not defined. What? Line 14, line 34. Oh, self. Okay, and so this was regarding the list of lists, and now the dictionaries. Okay, great. Not sure why this table is a little bit bigger, but no, still this seems to be just fine. Okay, so it seems working correctly. So if I just check these guys, change those, well, hopefully it works. Let me just have a look at the code one more time. So here, so this part, row.values returns the list of values for every single row here. So the row is this dictionary, the variable row holds this dictionary, and the values is 1 and 2. So row.values returns the list containing 1 and 2, and respectively the second is 3 and 4. So the list of dictionaries is converted to the list of lists, and the results, the first element of the results dot keys, so we just take the results 0 element, 0 index is this one, and dot keys returns the list of this Q and A. So if this would be different, it won't affect much, I believe. Okay, but if this is different, say, so this would affect. Well, okay. Okay, guys. Okay, so now I feel pretty satisfied. The very last thing is probably to add some commentaries along here. So okay, let's basically run through the code, and I'll just keep this video going a bit more, and let's bring the code to a little bit more beautiful state. So well, the scraper class, to inherit from, URLs to crawl, initial base URL. Well, it's just the base URLs, nothing much to command here. The number of pages to be scraped. Results list. Okay, so run scraper. So you want to loop create URLs array, URLs list with what? With URLs to crawl. With pages to crawl. Let's skip it with pages to crawl. Here make HTTP GET request. Call parse method when the response is obtained. Okay. 2 seconds delay to wait to return sites like this, websites. Users parse function to extract data. Print results to console. Pretty print results to console. Okay. Export results as CSV file. Open file stream basically. Maybe just create the file stream. Or with open, do both. It opens the file stream and it closes the file stream as well, which is really handy. Results are available. Return on unsupported results type. Return if no results available. Okay, so seems to be it. Now just remove extra new lines. Well, this looks like to be just fine now. And here is our example scraper. Well, okay guys, so this is it for this video, and starting from the next one, what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to use this Onetime scraper class to inherit from in order to avoid repeating the routine stuff every single video. So I would be only specifying the base URL, the page number, well, if needed of course, and I would be able to easily store the results as this, either as the CSV, in CSV format or in JSON format, and I would also be able to print the table to screen to see what we actually have scraped. So, well, this is really handy as well. So all the difference between every single next Onetime scraper would be this part in the parse function. So we would be extracting different data here, and that's actually that would be the topic of those would be the topics of the future videos. So I hope you find this useful. I'll leave the link I will provide the link to this particular class to inherit from in the description below this video. So starting from the next video, everyone would be able to actually download this this class and to inherit from this, and to make web scraping a little bit easier. Okay guys, have a good time and take care.